The focus of this review is the emotions and feelings of the characters, and a bit of the story, which is strange because this is a review video. Most chapters will be skipped while others are emphasized. Celeste is a platforming video game created by two Canadian developers, Matt Thorson and Noel Berry. Released on January 25th, 2018, Celeste speaks of anxiety and depression, along with self-loathing. The story is about a girl named Madeline who learns to accept who she is, face her fears and the struggles she's been confronted with. Madeline's goal throughout the game is to reach Celeste Mountain's peak, as she feels it's the only way to prove herself that she's capable. Celeste's gameplay is one of the most addicting and fun ones I've ever played. It's so simple, yet the satisfaction you get when you pass a screen you died so many times on is amazing. You also have your basic controls. They're your jump, dash, and wall climbing. These maneuvers never cease to bore me because each level uses these mechanics in new and refreshing ways. As stated in the introduction, Celeste's main focuses are on depression and anxiety, but there are other elements in the game's story along with its characters. While continuing to climb Mount Celeste, you meet Theo, an eccentric guy who loved to take pictures and grow on his social media. He quit his job that he hated, moved to Canada, and decided to visit the mountain due to his deceased grandfather telling Theo about the wonders of the mountain. Theo climbs the mountain to recollect himself and to be able to firmly stick to something. You also encounter Mr. Oshiro, who was the long-deceased owner of the Celestial Resort, a hotel. He doesn't leave the hotel due to the fact that he's a lost soul and the building is much more to him than just a hotel, it's his everything. He's unable to come to terms with the fact that the hotel is no more with no one left to run it except himself. He's unable to move on and has lost himself. He constantly puts himself down with every mistake he makes and is hell-bent on convincing Madeline to stay in the hotel. Any bit of hope you offer him only makes him feel worse. Celeste Mountain is said to be home to supernatural forces. Through her journey, Madeline's suppressed thoughts and emotions take form. This other form of her continuously harasses Madeline to stop her from climbing the mountain. At one point, Madeline tries to completely abandon the side of her that she despises, but must come to terms with the fact that this is her, and she must accept it willingly to be able to move on. Arriving at the Golden Ridge's gondola, it breaks down and Madeline begins to have a panic attack. I personally have never had one, so hearing anyone's experience with one would definitely help my curiosity. Celeste does a great job at showing what a panic attack may feel like. But Theo, the Chad he is, stays calm and teaches her the feather falling trick. After the gondola incident, you're at the halfway point and arrive at the Mirror Temple, my favorite area in the game. Again, the music already sets the atmosphere. As you progress, you find these strange eyed statues and such. Pretty unsettling. Welcome to Madeline's mind. Everything gets worse when you're taken inside the mirror. Inside, you're greeted by Madeline's other side again, telling you that everything you see here stems from Madeline herself. She even says, "Don't like what you see?" Not a surprise, meaning that Madeline has been suppressing all these thoughts and emotions for so long. No words can really describe how uncomfortable this dimension makes me. It's said that the mountain's power is at its strongest at the temple, the eerie atmosphere and change in music. When playing Quiet and Falling backwards, you're given this. Madeline is terrified of her thoughts and seems to not recognize herself in the mirror anymore. Her aching voice, followed with confusion and sorrow, is a lot to take in. Eventually finding Theo trapped in a prison while eyes watch him. This represents social media for him, public figures, and even YouTubers. Feeling trapped and always having thousands of eyes watching your every movement. Noting every word you say, the judgment is overwhelming. This place demonstrates what Madeline is going through and feeling. After escaping, Theo talks about his sister Alex, how Madeline reminds him of her and how she's amazing at everything. The only issue is she's stuck inside her head, doubting everything about herself. He knows she'll be able to make it out. The same goes for Madeline, but he can't say the same for himself, which refers back to the reason why he's here on Mount Celeste. He talks about how he wants to feel lost so he can find himself again. At first glance, Celeste is simply a game revolving around a girl climbing a mountain, but as you continue through the game and learn the story, it becomes much more than that. Mount Celeste demonstrates how difficult it is to go against your problems alone, occasionally finding those who make things worse for you, but also finding the ones who will stick with and support you. Madeline believes that this other side of her is the one who will be the death of her. She attempts to put all responsibility on them, blaming them for everything that's happened. Although this only makes matters worse. Madeline learns that the only way she'll be able to feel better is if she accepts who she is and stops rejecting her past. The other side of her fears change, scared of what will happen once they reach the top, but becomes able to push herself and work with Madeline to reach the top. Putting the past behind them and working together, it's time to climb the mountain. "2020 has probably been one of the most mentally draining years for me and a lot of people. I didn't think that it would affect me as bad as it did. There was just so much more I wanted to do this year, especially with YouTube. With only getting out 7+ videos, I wanted to get out a lot more than that. These kind of videos I want to do a lot more, not just being serious, but just messing around and talking about games and such. The real purpose of this video was to just hopefully give you something to hold on to going into the next year. The most important thing you have to remember is that things will get better as long as you put the effort in and try to change your attitude. Just having the same attitude day in and day out and just holding on saying, oh, it'll get better eventually, I don't think that you'll ever feel better in that sense, because you're not trying to change anything about yourself. You're just going through the days and waiting until you feel better, which I don't think will happen. You have to put in the effort. You have to do what you like. If you want to do something, you have to do it. You know, it's a really hard thing to do, and I deal with it a lot myself. It's actually really hard to talk about when you don't have a script, but it's even fine just to do nothing for one day. You know, you don't have to be productive every single day. And I know it's hard for people to believe that, but it truly is okay to take 1 or 2 days of just nothing. I wish that I could have worded this better, but I hope that my feelings got across, at least to a certain degree. Recently, we've all just been shrouded in this darkness, and we have to keep going to find our light. That's what I believe. So again, thank you for watching this video to the end, and hang in there. I'll see you next year.